Welcome back, students. Today we will continue with the remaining topics of chapter 4. So let's begin. Investment. Investment means expenditures made on purchase of new capital assets like machines, tools, equipment, etc. It implies an addition to the existing stock of assets. It increases productive capacity of an economy. Next, types of investment. So there are two types of investment, and they are induced investment and autonomous investment. So induced investment refers to the investment which depends on the profit expectations and is directly influenced by income level. And the next one is autonomous investment. Autonomous investment refers to the investment which is not affected by changes in the level of income and is not induced solely by profit motive. It is income inelastic. Next, determinants of investment. According to Keynes, private investment depends upon two factors, and they are marginal efficiency of investment and rate of interest. So, marginal efficiency of investment refers to the expected rate of return from a new capital assets. Rate of interest refers to cost of borrowing money for financing the investment. There exists an inverse relationship between rate of interest and the volume of investment. Next, ex ante and ex post savings and investment. Ex ante and ex post are Latin words which means before and after respectively. Ex ante expressions indicates before the event and ex post expressions indicates after the event. Ex ante positions refers to what is intended in the beginning. Ex post positions refer to what is released at the end. So ex ante savings and ex ante investment. Ex ante savings refers to the amount of savings which all the households intended to save at different levels of income in the economy at the beginning of period. It is also known as planned savings. Ex ante investment refers to the amount of investment which all the firms plan to invest at different level of income in the economy at the beginning of the period. It is also known as planned investment. So next one is ex post saving and ex post investment. Ex post savings refers to the actual or released saving in an economy during a financial year at the end of the period. Ex post investment refers to the actual or release investment in an economy during a financial year at the end of the period. Next, the concepts of full employment and involuntary unemployment. Full employment is a situation when all those who are able and willing to work at prevailing wage rate gets the opportunity to work. Involuntary unemployment is a situation where the worker is able and willing to work at prevailing wage rate but does not get work. Next, short-run equilibrium output and income. The equilibrium level of output and income is based on the assumptions of short run. In order to keep price constant at any particular level, the supplier should be willing to supply whatever amount consumers will demand at that price. If quantity supplied exceeds or falls short to quantity demanded at that price, price will change because of its excess supply or demand. This problem has been avoided by assuming that the elasticity of supply is infinite. So, supply schedule will be horizontal at a fixed price. Under such conditions, equilibrium output is solely determined by the aggregate demand at that price in the economy. It is also called effective demand principle. Equilibrium level of income or output is that level of income output where aggregate demand equals aggregate supply in an economy. Thus, at equilibrium point, AD equal to AS. Accordingly, equilibrium level of income is arrived by two approaches, namely the aggregate demand equal to aggregate supply approach and by saving equal to investment approach. So, the next one is the aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach. Under this approach, the equilibrium level of income is determined at the point where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply. So you see here in this diagram, the consumption curve is depicted by C and the investment curve is depicted by the horizontal straight line parallel to the output income axis. Summing up the investment curve and consumption curve, we get the aggregate demand curve represented by AD equal to C plus I. The aggregate supply curve is represented by 45-degree line. Throughout this line, the planned expenditure is equal to the planned output. The point E is the equilibrium point where the planned level of expenditure, that is AD, is equal to the planned level of output AS. Accordingly, the equilibrium level of output and income is OQ. Next is saving and investment approach. Under this approach, the equilibrium level of income is determined at the point where saving S is equal to investment I. So you see here in this diagram, SS represents the saving curve and II represents the investment curve. The point E represents the equilibrium point where the saving curve SS and the investment curve II intersect. Accordingly, OQ is the equilibrium level of income. Next, investment multiplier. The literal meaning of multiplier is multiple. The concept of multiplier is related to change in income as a result of change in investment. In an economy, when there is an increase in investment by a certain amount, the resultant change in income is multiple of change in investment. In other words, change of income in several times more than the increased investment. The number of times it increases is called multiplier. The multiplier is defined as the ratio of the change in income to the change of investment. Next, relationship between multiplier and marginal propensity to consume. So there exists a direct relationship between marginal propensity to consume and the value of multiplier. Higher the marginal propensity to consume, more will be the value of multiplier and vice versa. One person's expenditure is another person's income. So increase in consumptions results into increase in income. People spend a part of this increased income on consumption, which depends on the value of marginal propensity to consume. So K equal to 1 by 1 minus MPC. So MPC is marginal propensity to consume. Next is working of the multiplier. The working of multiplier is based on the fact that one man's expenditure is another man's income. So you see here in this table, suppose there is an initial increase in investment of rupees 100 crores in the economy. Further, suppose the value of MPC is 0.75. This increase of investment of rupees 100 crores results in an increase of income of rupees 100 of producers of these goods. They will together spend rupees 75 on consumption goods. This increase in consumption of rupees 75 crore will increase the income of the producers of consumers goods by rupees 75 crores. In the second round, this additional income of rupees 75 crores will lead to an additional consumption of rupees 56.25 crores in the economy. As some people spend this additional income of rupees 56.25 crores, someone get it. This is the third time increase in the level of income in the economy. This process will continue with each round of income being 3 to 4 times the previous level. The absolute increase in income becomes smaller and smaller with every round and finally reduced to 0. This is because when consumption increases by marginal propensity to consume, saving also increases by marginal propensity to save. Where change in investment equal to change in saving, income stops rising. So in this table, it clearly shows that the initial increase in investment of rupees 100 crore has resulted in an increase of income of rupees 400 crore. That is, the resultant increase in income is multiple of initial increase of investment. Thus, in this case, multiplier equal to change in income by change in investment equal to 400 by 100 equal to 4. So students, with these topics, chapter 4 ends. Thank you.